let's get started because police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, shot a 29-year-old black man in the back at least 7 times earlier this week. His name is Jacob Blake. It was all caught on video. The update so far is Blake's father says his son is paralyzed from the waist down, and right now doctors don't know whether this is permanent. Wisconsin's Governor Tony Evers says the shooting is still under investigation at this point, but is saying that he's promising police reform. I just want to give you all the space, as black men, to express your feelings. If you want to start, Dr. Smith, Calvin.
So my mom called me yesterday, and I talk to my mom every day, but she called me and I was like, I was kind of busy and I was kind of rough with her. I was like, what's going on? Is something going on? And she's like, no, I just want to hear your voice because of everything that's going on. And this is the first time and we talk about things all the time, but this hit us in such a strange way because it's very clear this guy really wasn't doing anything. No one deserves to be shot in the back 7 times, period. No one deserves to be shot in the back 7 times. But he clearly was somebody that was I don't want to say he was a pillar of the community, but he was breaking up a fight. Like he was somebody that seemed like he was a decent enough guy. And I hate to get into respectability politics and nobody decent deserves to be shot because really nobody deserves to be shot. But especially in this case, and then, for him, they mentioned him to be paralyzed, as a physician, I don't even broach that subject with somebody unless it's a very strong possibility that that's what the long-term outcome is going to be. So, I'm happy that he's alive, but they've really altered the course of this guy's life in a way that, is unacceptable. And I'm just, I don't know what else to do at this point. I'm nonplussed.
Nonplussed is one of my very favorite words. First of all, I really want to shout you out for that. Brooke, I have to tell you, I'm getting to a place where I feel myself like decreasingly being able to like engage this conversation in the way I'm supposed to as a journalist.
Right.
I had decidedly not watched the video since it came out, and I got asked to do CNN, and I debated whether or not I wanted to do the segment. I hosted a panel with 4 Black journalists talking about what it's like to be a Black man covering the killings of Black people. And I thought I was being whacked for a while for not watching all the videos until I asked them, like, how do you guys engage the video? And it was the first time I'd had a conversation with other Black male journalists and other just Black men talking about, oh, I don't watch them. And I was like, oh, really? And I know that I have limited my intake of that kind of thing since Philando Castile. That was like the turning point for me.
Horrifying video.
Everyone has a different moment, right? And the thing that still like gives me goosebumps when I think about it is his little girl consoling the mom and saying, "It's okay, mommy, I'm right here with you." That I've never been able to get that out of my head. So when I approach these videos, I'm always cautious about whether or not I'm going to watch them. And I finally did watch the video last night, and I felt my whole body react when I saw him being shot repeatedly. And there's a rage that comes with that. There's a pain, but then there's just so many questions, because you have to think, if police know that they're being watched, they know that they're being filmed. We've seen these iPhone camera videos, security videos, bystander videos, body cam videos. What does any of it mean? Like, what does it matter that we have body cam legislation? Like, can someone show me a correlation between body cams and increased conviction rates or even just arrests of police officers? Can someone show me like this idea that, we're getting better, we're becoming a better country, we're having a reckoning with race, but you popped him in the back 7 times at point blank range, holding onto his shirt? Like, it's moments like these when I feel like maybe we're not getting any better, because Donald Trump and Republicans are at the RNC talking about, showing us Black men who have, the FBI agent who arrested me became my best friend. What? You know what I mean? It was crazy to me to watch that. And then they give him this pardon like we're watching Ellen or something, right?
Wow.
And they like on a tight shot of him hoping he'll cry. And so when we're in this moment where we're addressing anti-Blackness and racism and all of these different things, like on the show I was on, they were asking, well, do we need to do more training about de-escalation? And no, we don't need to do more training on de-escalation because you know how to de-escalate it when it's white people, right? You know how to handle it when it's a white woman or anybody else that's not Black, right? So when I saw that video, and I've been watching this kind of story evolve over the last few days, I've been angry and having to really put it out of my mind to not feel about it because, and I don't want to continue to go on and on, but like his mom was on CNN yesterday talking about how she said that she missed the president's call and she respects him and she doesn't want, violence in the name of her son. And I respect that, right? Like I get that. But at the same time, I'm tired of being told that I can't be mad.
Yeah.
Right. And if people want to go like tear something up, I kind of understand where that comes from. Now, I haven't kicked out any glass, but you know what I mean? But like, I get where that comes from.
Yeah. For a long time, when I used to watch Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, I would be kind of upset with Mookie because Mookie worked with Sal, and destroyed Sal. And then I grew up and I listened to some of the commentary that Spike said. And really, like, if you're more upset about the destruction of property than you are the destruction of lives and people dying and people being maimed, then the problem's on you. It's not on the people destroying property. We need to really rearrange the priorities and really it's not on us. I think you hit on a good point. Like we spend so much time worrying about how white people feel about, how we feel. They don't give a damn about us. So why am I worried about how you feel? Fix what you guys have got going on. It's not on me to educate you on how to be a decent person. And we got generational, like this guy had 3 young Black boys in the car with him. 3 sons in the car with him that witnessed this. They're going to have to deal with this. I can't imagine the trauma, witnessing your father being shot in front of you, being helpless to do anything about it, and then having to kowtow to the people that are doing it. Like, it's just unfathomable to me. The lack of humanity that we have to deal with. You're right. The Baldwin quote is never more apparent to me than it is now, where if you're Black in America, you're in a constant state of rage. Constant state of rage.
And if I could, I think about Cat Williams' piece that came out for Supreme 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, a week and a half ago. And in it, he talks about how, Black folks aren't going to attack you. Like, we've been here for 400 years and we've never done that. And like, there's truth to that. And like, he says we're better people than that. We aspire to be better and we're trying to be better and we are better. But I also think about the ways that we have been conditioned to not respond in these kinds of instances, right? Like, how many times have we gotten messages that the police will shoot you in the back if you do anything that they don't like, right? How many times have we gotten messages that the government does not care what you have to say? The justice system does not care about justice or accountability for you, right? Like, and so I see these things continually happen, and I feel like each one of them, like, turns my dial just a little bit more towards, I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel about it, right? I don't care how white people feel about this right now. I could go off.
Also, because I didn't say this ahead of time, co-executive producer OJ Smith is here as always. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts as well. They can see you if they're watching this on YouTube, but just it's like, is OJ not there today? I apologize.
They just canceled the Milwaukee Bucks. Didn't come out to play their
all the games today.
All the games today
to postpone all playoff games because nobody was going to come out.
Yeah, nobody came out, and so.
And this is a strike. I think it's important to get that right. This is not a boycott. Consumers boycott. This is a strike. A bunch of union members refusing to fulfill their duties as a form of protest. This is a strike.
It happened an hour down the street from where the Bucks play at. I'm pretty sure some of them probably live over there too. I don't know about the community. I heard it was nice. Good point. Yeah, but I didn't watch the video myself, and I can't do it no more. I can't be numb to it. I don't know. I'm tired. I don't know what to do about it other than like I'm a solution-driven person, so my solution is to put myself out of harm's way, and the only way to do that is to leave the country. At this point, like I mean, there are greener pastures. You know what I'm saying? There is a place where we don't have to be attacked. There's a place where we're welcome. There's a place where we can take our knowledge and the things that we have learned here and build a better future for ourselves. It's not a hopeless situation. And I mean, I'm talking about Africa, of course, because I've been in, everything I've been through. But I don't, that's the only thing that makes me feel not hopeless, completely hopeless. Like, I know I can, if I want to take that step, find myself in a better situation where I don't have to worry about these things. Like, they don't have they don't have a systemic racism problem out there. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's our major hurdle here. That's the only thing my mind can go to, like getting in a spaceship and flying away. Like, I'm tired, and then another thing that I was thinking about, like, picture how we feel right now, just as Black men, right? But as Black men, as a subgroup of Black people, not all Black men, but at least straight Black men, like the one who got shot in the back, we have it the best out of all the other subgroups of Black people. And this is what happened to us. And so everybody else, imagine getting it worse than this and having to put up with more than just being a Black man, having to put up with more than that.
So to your point, number one, this is the fourth time this week I've had a conversation with someone talking about wanting to leave the country, right? Especially looking at the election and potential chaos, not even thinking about the final outcome of it. But the fourth time this week, and it's Wednesday afternoon, that I've had a conversation with a Black person about wanting to leave. But secondly, to your point about straight Black men having it the best, you talked about like the possibility of moving to Africa. And I'm like, Africa doesn't have the best track record with queer Black men or with queer people at all, right?
That's the thing, actually.
So it's like, you're even more limited. And I'm like, do I want to go to like a European country where I'm still a Black person amongst a bunch of white people? You know what I mean? Like, there's all these other questions. So that's just, as you were saying that, I was thinking about it. Yeah.
And talking about straight Black men, the pathology of dealing with all this stuff, we take it out on the people that we view lesser than us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we internalize it and spit it out in ways where we make people who should be our allies, we antagonize them. You know what I mean?
Black women,
all this together.
trans women,
especially. Thank you, Brooke.
That's the same thing, but I get what you're saying. And the LGBTQ community as a whole. Yeah.
Our show on Fanside this week is talking about our show. At the risk of a shameless plug, like our show, the word Fanti is...
We're all in this together.
Fanti is a portmanteau of the word fan and anti, basically the idea of like really liking something, but also really being challenged by it. And so this week we're actually talking about Black men. Country? Like this country, right? Yeah, that was actually last week. And so we were talking about the Democratic Party and voting democratically, but like this week we're talking about how, straight Black men show up in the world. And like, there are good parts of it, but there's also some bad things that we have to really reckon with. And I think that I appreciate OJ, you saying like, I have to take care of myself and like make the choice to not watch these videos. I can't be numb anymore, right? Like, I am appreciating that right now. I'm hearing more Black folks, not just men, but men as well, talking about how this is affecting them. Because like, at first it was just always so shocking and jarring and it kind of hurt, and like, but now I feel like we're hearing more people talk about what it feels like to see this week after week or month after month, time and time again, and the scenarios like are so similar, right? Like this situation that happened was not too much crazily different than so many other ones that we've seen before. So it's incredibly frustrating, but I'm hoping that we can figure out what to do, because it's not getting any better.
Jared, there's something that I wanted to talk to you about, specifically all of you. I wanted to get because I think we all participate in media, whether it's journalists or a consumer. But I'm glad that you brought up journalism, because there's so many ways that we have to challenge what the system has taught us. And I talk about this all the time, how objectivity, as we've been told it is a complete farce. Because what it really is, hey, I want you to tell this story from the place of, if you were a straight, white, slim, Christian, middle-class American man who only speaks English. And that's not objectivity at all. That's an absolute bias. You just want everybody to participate in it. And so when you talk about how, like, seeing something like this, you struggle as a journalist, I think you're more wrong to view it as you're struggling. And because I can't imagine saying anything that's the absolute truth, how that would be subjective. You know, it's like, we're allowed to say child abuse is bad. Do you know what I mean? Right. So we should be allowed to say that police brutality is bad. We should be allowed to say that racism is racism and it is bad. That's so frustrating for me. Even like the tiniest example, and I feel like I've given this a lot, but being in a super small market, right? When you start out, if you have like a kicker story at the end of the newscast, it's two people that got married, two people in the community or something. It's like, congratulations to the happy couple. Somebody had a baby or something like that. But if it's two men, then you can't say congratulations, because all of a sudden that's you giving your opinion. Right. You're giving an opinion on gay marriage. You're giving an opinion on gay adoption or things like that. And that's so bad. Like, you know what I mean? If you want, it's just so bad to pretend as if our perspectives, all of them, don't shift and change, how we view things. I'm a Christian. I grew up a Christian. I can still tell stories about, and I hope that I've done, a good job, like being open and telling stories about people who are Muslim, people who are Jewish, people who are atheists. Like, it has nothing to do with where I go to church, and I'm a Black woman. And of course that's going to affect how I tell all kinds of stories, but that doesn't mean that I can't tell stories fairly, because I think my job is the truth. The problem is that we don't get that space to be considered normal and then normal enough to have a truth.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I was going to say, like, I had not heard that example that you've given about, like, the kicker at the end of the show.
But you can see it though, right?
Oh, 100%, right? Like, so I haven't had that experience, but I was like, of course they told her that. Like, it's just, I remember it's an understood kind of thing.
Yeah, I did. And I actually didn't even say this, but someone else said it, and it caused everyone to have a private meeting with the boss. This was later on in my career, but when Kaepernick first started kneeling, it was Spike Lee had said something like, "Hey, this is his First Amendment right." And someone else on the show said, "Listen, regardless of whether you agree with what he's doing or not, Spike is right. That is his First Amendment right." And we all got a talking to about how that could be viewed as an opinion, and that could be very offensive. And it's like, well, wait a minute. It's not an opinion. Everything, my literal existence is going to be viewed by a large amount of people in this country as an opinion. So as some form of a statement, but that's not an opinion. My job is fact. If somebody says, "Hey, it's raining outside," my job is not to go and find someone who says it's not. My job is to look out the window and report the news. So that's just so I'm sorry, Jarrett.
No, I'm saying, like, what you're saying is a perfect example of why objectivity doesn't make sense, right? Because if that gay couple getting married, if they had been straight and white and Christian and, male and all of those different things, right, then it would not have been political for you to make that kind of a choice to say congratulations.
Right.
And so those
people's existence.
Right, because white is the default for human, right?
Right.
So whenever we're talking about people, we're talking about white people, right? And I that is not my original thought. It's a friend of mine, Fanchon Cox, who says that to me, and she's like, white is the default for human. So, like, if it is a Black man taking a knee for Black, to end police violence against Black people, that's political, because being Black is inherently political, being gay or queer is inherently political, you being a woman is inherently political. Like, we all live in so many intersections that make us political, and I think that was just a perfect example of that.
I think so what caused me to want to have this conversation, this part of it, was a bunch of journalists on Twitter have been, and I imagine that they've been having these conversations privately as much as I have, and I imagine you have, so much of news, when there's something to do with a police officer, so much of the story is not necessarily reported as much as police are given the freedom to shift and control the narrative. And it's an institution in our community. These are institutions in our community that we should be holding accountable. We should be reporting the facts, not allowing them to be their own PR and give it to us. So like the statement, police involved shooting. That doesn't even make any sense. What does that mean? That's not well reported. Police shot somebody. If that's what happened, then that's what happened, and that's what you should say. But so often we're giving little terms and different words, and we go with that because that's all the information we have at the time. But especially now we have so much more information. We have videos, and people are still nervous about just reporting, hey, a police officer shot this man. Instead, there was a police-involved shooting, which makes it seem like there's some weird shootout. Which didn't happen.
Right.
Because let me tell you, if someone shot the police, they would be very clear about that. And that is the story that you would have.
Police officer shot.
Yeah. The headline matters more than anything right now.
It does. It just should be factual.
It does.
Yeah. And so the slant starts in the headline now. And it's, journalistic objectivity is gone in terms of you just basically everything is slanted one way or the other, and you get your sources of news from one place to the other, and you kind of know that going in. And when you read the way that they presented in CNN, for instance, versus the way they presented in Fox, it's almost like two different events have occurred, And
hey, if you throw in MSNBC, it's three different events, bro.
Right. And so the stories get twisted from the very beginning. Like and most people only read the Twitter blurb and don't click on the actual article. There's too many words in the article, And so, nowadays when you make a headline like that, it's intentional. And you have to be responsible for the outcome of those headlines. And what the outcome of those headlines is that Black people are suffering.
I think.
Have you seen? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, OJ.
Well, real quick, just have you guys seen on Twitter when you try to retweet a news story that it gives you a warning, says, hey, if you did you read the story? Or it gives you some kind of pop-up notice, like, did you read the story? Or if you read the story, it'll be, your tweet will be more accurate.
Yeah. And it's a shame that we have to do that.
I haven't seen
but
that.
I mean, I like it. Honestly, if you could give people that little bit of warning, like, hey, don't look like an asshole.
But the people who wrote the article could also do that just by how it's presented. And that's so frustrating.
Right, but basically the warning, or the message behind the warning is read the article first. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I would say that the idea of the media's job, I think there are instances when it's intentional, but at the very least, it's complicit, right?
Right, exactly. It's not. There's not an intention to fix it,
right?
Which is even more important than going along with what we've just been used to. I think about that all the time whenever people say oh, we don't get any Black people, don't apply. We haven't had any Black applicants, which is so you're just sitting back waiting for them to come to you. You're not intentionally trying to diversify your newsroom.
Right.
Which is
why aren't they applying?
big of a problem is you intentionally not trying to diversify your news.